Alright guys, so let's try this one more time. So I forgot to turn on the um, output for the audio capture right here for the video in on YouTube. So I have to record this. But anyway, so before I go any further, I don't own any AMC, a long, short position, nothing right now. That may change in the future, but as if for now, I don't own any. And of course, you know that I own GME and I have a position in that long. Do I have calls right now? No, at the moment. Do I have puts on GME? No, at the moment. So who knows, right? So please take everything I said here with a grain of salt and maybe a little bit of sugar. Why not? Life is short. All right, so here we go. What am I gonna talk about here? So Bigums, of course, did a live stream. He did it a day ago, and actually, I watched a little bit of it, and I'm always like, oh my god, I'm amazed by this, like twists and turns and gymnastic thoughts and feelings that he have. And of course, like I know he's biased towards AMC, right? Anything that the CEO does, it's all good things. Anything that it's come about, all good things. Reverse stock split or whatever. Even though, there's evidence that it's not. And here he's gonna admit something that I've always felt that it was wrong of him to, say. And which is good, that's shows some character development here. But let me show you what I mean. He's saying here. Oh, by the way, I'm putting it in a faster speed, so I might be increasing that a little bit. So let's see how fast this is.
Agree with me? I don't care. I'm telling you what I'm gonna do. No one's paying me to say this stuff. I've been trying to tell everybody for years. Fundamentals matter. They matter a shit ton. They are why shorts jump into a play. That's why they get into it. They look over and go, this company is garbage. We're gonna get into GNS in a minute. Actually, I'll wait for a minute. Fundamentals, they matter. That's why the shorts are there. They're looking over right now. They're going, why would I cover on AMC? They're looking over at the situation going, they're still not cash flow positive. They're getting there, but they're going to keep diluting, whether it's through 8 or this. And if it ever gets to a point currently, they can just scoop up 8 pennies on the dollar and keep putting them in worse positions, or they can keep scooping up pennies on the dollar and get the votes if they ever need to switch it over. So I'm saying at this point, it's like, dude, I'm seriously beyond pissed off because, I sat there for a minute and I fell back into the old scheme. Cost to borrow matters. And it does, but it doesn't. The way I'm looking at this now is it's like, okay, the problem is naked shorts. Okay, so you'll have naked shorts. Cost to borrow matters for institutions, taking out new ones, and it matters for retail investors. But the problem is naked shorts don't have a cost to borrow attached to them. Why? Because they're naked. You're not really truly borrowing anything. So how can you technically have a cost to that borrow? No one knows you're technically borrowing it.
All right, I'm gonna stop here. So he said that cost borrow really doesn't matter, and I always thought that, right? Because it was high and whatnot, and it's just a mechanism that market maker use to make more money for highly popular stocks out there that are due for a massive movement. And as he's correct and pointed out that the institution will have to pay if they want to short this thing. Retail actually are, I feel like there are a lot of people who thinks that AMC is going nowhere. So of course retail is going to be jumping in that as well. Now, cost to borrow, if it's high, obviously retail is not going to have the ability to short it, right? Because it's just too high for them to open the position on the short side. And for institution, not by much. I mean, if they know certain information and they know for sure and they are convicted in that play, they don't care to pay for that cost to borrow, right? And uh, cost to borrow is annualized. It's not daily. It's not weekly. It's not monthly. So annualized, meaning that even if it's high, which is over 100% is high, right? In our mind. So 100%, if you do the math, bring up the calculator right here. It would be 1, 2. It would be less than a 1% a day, right? So, well, actually, it's not 125 because like weekends does not include. So, I would say like this much, Let's double it. Um, yeah, it's less than 1% of per day. And look at the price action for AMC. It's not by much at all, even if it's at 100% cost to borrow. So it really doesn't matter anyway if it's that high. Now, he mentioned the naked shorting, right? And I have a hard time believe that he just all of a sudden think about the naked shorting having the effect on cost to borrow, right? Because he's been touting on and on about that continuous net settlement. Of course, they're not going to be able to uh, the, or they would have the ability to keep holding the short position forever if they want to, because of the continued net settlement, right? And I think that that's like high the naked shorting contract being sweep back and forth as a debt form, right? If you short and then you're under the water, that would be sold as a debt somehow in those massive amount of swap that institution have the access to. People who have $10 billion or more in asset under management, right? Unless they raise the fee in which for the big players out there to write those contract, which was about phase six and all that stuff that's supposedly in an enactment right now. That might help it a little bit, but again, short does not have the reason to buy AMC back to cover because they have the CEO in their side. Look at it, wake up to that, and you will be a lot better off. Okay, so now he's gonna compare the other company, GNS or something like that. But let's continue on.
It's a naked short. AMC. We continuously have Silver Lakes, now in Paras. People are getting just pissed off. This tweet right here told me a lot. Let's get into.
All right, so before we go to that tweet, he mentioned Silver Lake and Tara, right? Now these two were was invited in by Adam Aaron or the board of director. So what gives, right? And I think later on, which I'm not gonna show because you could go and watch the whole thing if you're interested in watching. Um, that oh, these people are gonna continue to short ape, and this is why AMC is unable to raise their capital. Da, 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 da. Well, who did that? Antara Capital, right? Remember before they make that deal with Adam Aaron, they were shorting ape from $2 down to 60 cents or something like that. Or 62, 65, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was in the 60s, right? And then what happened? Adam Aaron make the deal with Antara Capital at a lower than the trading price at the time, not retail. So that action right there should be it for people to be like, this CEO, this leadership is not for you. Okay, let's go to this tweet and we'll end it there.
Adam Aaron for a second before I keep going on to that other stuff.
Sorry about the background noise.
I'm going to read this out loud and then just tell you what I think of this tweet. We'll get into Adam Aaron after that. I'm going to watch the chat because I know a lot of people are going to want to chime in on this, and then I'll keep going. Well, okay. It may boil down to this. Many of you are frustrated, strongly urging us to address market forces that you are convinced are unfair. We continuously think about what actions would be wise and credible, certainly good ideas, build up our cash reserve, and smartly lead AMC forward.
Wise and credible. And now he's going to mention, later on that, credible, it means institutions, right? That he did all these deals with. Well, how, where, who, right? How, where, who? Look at this. Okay, let's do this. So, how is he doing the deal? It's by privately selling to them at a lower price than traded. So that's a ding right there, like a red flag, right? Meaning he's continuously selling it to institution that is shorting this company in the first place. Okay? And what happened? Yes, they were like, oh, it's going to be locked up. But guess what? Now it's being lifted. Okay? It's not applied to a certain shares already. So now they have the ability to sell 26 million ape before that agreement was made, right? Or before that lockup agreement. Now, yes, they put the cap on it. They could only they cannot exceed 140 $140 million worth of sale, which is fine. So if $140 million is less than this, then they only could sell, you know, uh, that amount of shares that amount to this amount. Sorry. All right. So but yeah. So to who, right? To who, meaning Antara Capital. When can they sell? Earlier than agreement on a certain amount of shares. Okay. So again, it's just one of those things where I think, Adam Aarons is continuously making choices that is not good for retail, and he continued to kind of drag them along. Um, and people continue to support him. Look, he's like a celebrity, and he knows this. This is why he does what he does, and this is why he's the board of director and a CEO. Okay, that means he is the brain of gutting retail dry and using them to advance AMC further. Um, and by the end of it, I don't think retail will come ahead. So, all right, guys. So that's all I have for this one, and of course, I'm gonna link this live stream if you're interested in watching, just to make sure I'm not taking anything out of context. And yeah, have a nice day. Bye.